You wake up one morning and realize the things that used to set your heart on fire are now just cold ashes. You look at your old hobbies, your old dreams, and your old passions, and you feel nothing. You might think you are broken. You might think you are becoming lazy, or worse, that you are becoming empty. But what if this loss of interest isn't a sign that you are failing? What if it is a sign that you are growing? What if the void you feel is not an end, but a necessary clearing? This video is not here to yell at you or give you a loud motivational speech. It is here to offer you understanding. It is here to help you sit with the quiet parts of your soul that no one else talks about. Please, stay with me until the end. We are going to walk through this silence together. There is a specific, heavy kind of pain in looking at something you used to love and feeling only a dull, hollow boredom. It feels like a betrayal of who you are. You look at your books, your instruments, or your projects, and you feel like a stranger in your own room. You see other people pursuing their goals with endless energy, and you wonder where yours went. You try to force it. You pick up the brush, you open the laptop, you step into the gym, but the spark is gone. You are performing a role, but the heart isn't in it anymore. This creates a silent pressure. The world tells you to stay consistent and to never give up. But inside, you are exhausted. You are tired of being the person everyone expects you to be. You compare your current emptiness to your past excitement, and the gap between them feels like a mountain you can no longer climb. Let that pain be here for a moment. Do not try to fix it yet. Just let the struggle breathe. You are carrying the weight of a ghost, the ghost of who you used to be. This feeling does not happen by accident. It is rarely about being lazy. In many cases, it is the result of a long, slow process of emotional burnout. For years, you may have used your passions as a way to prove your worth to a world that only values what you produce. You were taught that you must always be doing something to be someone. When you do what you love for the sake of an outcome, rather than the joy of the process, your brain eventually protects itself by shutting down. It is a defense mechanism. Your mind is trying to save you from the exhaustion of constant performance. This is not a personal failure. It is a natural shift in your identity. You are not the same person you were 5 years ago, or even 5 months ago. Human beings are seasonal, yet we expect ourselves to be in perpetual summer. Sometimes, the soul outgrows its old containers. The things you loved were the tools you used to build your current self. But now that the building is done, those tools no longer serve you. You are not becoming empty. You are becoming new. When we ignore this shift and try to force our old interests, the cost is a profound sense of numbness. You start to feel like a spectator in your own life. You move through the days like a ghost, doing what is required, but feeling none of the color. This numbness is a quiet sadness. It is the fear that you will never feel that spark again. You stop trusting yourself because you can no longer rely on your own enthusiasm to get you through the day. You feel ashamed because you think you are wasting time. You think you are wasting your life. But I want you to know that your emotions are valid. This exhaustion is real. It is okay to feel hollow for a while. It is okay to not know who you are without your passions. Validating this sadness is the only way through it. You are allowed to be in this winter season. You are allowed to rest even when you haven't earned it. True clarity begins internally, not externally. It starts when you stop fighting the emptiness and start looking into it with curiosity instead of fear. You must realize that you are the one responsible for your peace, but that responsibility does not mean you are to blame for your pain. When you stop trying to force the old interests back into your life, something shifts. You begin to see that the void is actually a space of potential. Understanding is the light that turns the darkness from a scary place into a quiet place. You begin to realize that you are not your hobbies. You are not your career. You are not the things you produce. You are the awareness behind all of those things. When you understand this, the pressure to be someone begins to melt away. The shift happens when you realize you don't need to find your passion. You need to find yourself. There is a quieter, more intentional way to live. It is not about finding a new spark or getting back on track. It is about learning to value the silence. It is about patience. It is about consistency in the small, invisible things, like how you breathe, how you observe the world, and how you speak to yourself when no one is listening. Identity change is a slow, deep process. It requires you to sit in the in-between stage, where the old you is gone and the new you hasn't arrived yet. Do not rush to fill the silence with noise. Let yourself be bored. Let yourself be still. This is where true strength is born, not in the shouting and the doing, but in the quiet endurance of not knowing. True growth is choosing to be kind to yourself when you have nothing to offer the world. It is the courage to be nothing for a while, so you can eventually become something real. Everything you are going through is a part of your growth. The loss of interest is not an ending. It is a clearing. Like a forest that must burn so that new life can reach the soil, your old self is making room for a deeper, more authentic version of you. You can breathe now. You don't have to be the passionate person today. You can just be. Reframe this struggle as a necessary rest. Trust that your interest will return, but it will return in a new form, for a new purpose, and with a new maturity. You are moving toward inner peace, and peace is often much quieter and more stable than passion. You are okay. You are still here, and your presence is enough, even if you are currently standing in the dark. Reclaiming yourself begins with the difficult act of letting go of the person you were supposed to be. For a long time, you may have been a mirror, reflecting the expectations of your family, your friends, and your social feed. You performed your interests so well that you eventually forgot which parts of them were real and which parts were just for show. This loss of interest is actually your soul's way of breaking that mirror. It is painful to watch the old image shatter, but it is necessary. You are taking back your energy from the things that no longer feed you. You are reclaiming your right to be silent, to be still, and to be undefined. This is not a loss of personality. It is the beginning of an authentic life. You are finally choosing yourself over your reputation. We are taught that the answer to every problem is more. More effort, more discipline, more searching. But when you have lost interest in everything, the answer is often less. There is a profound strength in the art of not doing. It means sitting with the void without trying to fill it with scrolling or mindless chores or forced productivity. When you stop trying to fix yourself, you give your nervous system permission to finally rest. Let the house be messy. Let the project stay unfinished. Let the silence be heavy. In this space of not doing, you start to hear the very faint, very quiet whispers of what you actually need. Not what you want, but what you need. It might just be sunlight. It might be sleep. It might be a long, slow walk where you expect nothing from yourself. Passion is often portrayed as a wild, burning fire, but that kind of heat is unsustainable. It burns out. As you move forward, you will find a different kind of warmth in the mundane. You might find it in the way the steam rises from a cup of tea, or the way the light hits the floor in the afternoon. This is not boring. This is presence. You are learning to find beauty in the small, stable things that don't require you to perform. When you lose interest in the big dreams, it is often an invitation to fall in love with the small reality. This shift from the extraordinary to the ordinary is where true mental health lives. It is a quieter way of being, where your worth is not tied to your excitement, but to your existence. You will eventually come out of this tunnel, but you will not be the same person who entered it. You will be someone with more depth, more empathy, and a much stronger boundary between your inner world and the outer world. You didn't lose your spark. You evolved past the need for constant fireworks. You have gained the wisdom to know that seasons of emptiness are just as important as seasons of harvest. You can now look at your life with a quiet confidence, knowing that even if everything falls away again, you are still there. You are the constant. You are the home you have been looking for. The fear of becoming empty was just a shadow. Underneath that shadow, you were simply becoming solid. There is a strange wisdom in not knowing who you are anymore. For years, you carried a set of labels: the artist, the athlete, the achiever, the reliable one. When you lose interest in the things that supported those labels, you are forced to face the raw, unadorned version of yourself. It is terrifying to look in the mirror and not see a role looking back. But in this uncertainty, there is a hidden freedom. You no longer have to protect an image. You no longer have to maintain a version of yourself that has already expired. Uncertainty is the soil of transformation. By admitting that you don't know what you love anymore, you are finally being honest. And honesty is the only foundation upon which a real life can be built. You are learning to sit in the question without rushing for an answer. You are learning that "I don't know" is a brave and holy place to be. We often confuse purpose with production. We think that if we aren't excited about a project or a goal, our lives have lost their meaning. But meaning is not something you do. Meaning is something you are. Perhaps the reason you lost interest in your old passions is that they were tied to a version of success that no longer satisfies your soul. You were chasing trophies, but your heart was looking for connection. You were seeking applause, but your spirit was seeking peace. Redefining meaning means shifting your focus from the external result to the internal experience. It means realizing that a quiet day spent in reflection is just as meaningful as a day spent achieving. You are not a machine that has broken down. You are a human being who is asking for a deeper kind of nourishment. You are moving from the what of your life to the why. It takes immense courage to stay still when the rest of the world is running. There is a heavy guilt that comes with doing nothing, a voice in your head that whispers you are falling behind. But you must ask yourself, behind whom? Behind what? Most people are running because they are afraid to stop and feel the very emptiness you are currently facing. Your lack of interest is actually a form of protest. Your soul is refusing to participate in the noise anymore. This stillness is your sanctuary. By refusing to force a fake smile or a hollow passion, you are protecting your integrity. You are waiting for something real. Have the courage to be unproductive until your energy returns on its own terms. Trust that your stillness is not a waste of time. It is a gathering of strength. One day, perhaps not tomorrow, and perhaps not next month, you will feel a small, quiet tug towards something new. It won't be the blinding, frantic fire of your youth. It will be a steady, gentle light. It might be a sudden curiosity about a tree in your yard, or a desire to write a single sentence, or a quiet pull toward a conversation with a stranger. When this happens, do not rush it. Do not try to turn it into a career or a passion immediately. Just let it be a small light. This is how the spark returns, not as a roar, but as a whisper. You will realize that you haven't become empty. You have become a vessel. Because you were willing to be empty for a while, you now have the space to hold something much more authentic. You are coming back to life, but this time, you are living for yourself. The void was never your enemy. It was the bridge between who you were and who you are becoming. The emptiness has done its work. You are solid. You are whole. Walk forward slowly. There is no rush. Your new life is waiting for you to simply show up. If this journey through the silence gave you peace, subscribe. Not for motivation, but for understanding.